Good evening, early morning, whatever it might be, everyone. We are here with a Speed Gaming After Dark match here. Iker and Flip Heel and Relkin and Humbug of Don't Forget to Track Us and To Infinity and Pgog, respectively, have decided that this is an appropriate hour for co-op veterans, and I could not agree more strongly. We're doing some invitational playoffs. This is game one. I'd have to consult the rules to figure out whose pick this was. I'm sure someone in chat can get me corrected. Welcome to the raid from Structural Mike. Y'all are here just in time. I'm Maniacal, and I'm joined by Blumsha. Blumsha, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Looking forward to this. This is a semifinal. Are we in the semifinals already, or just the quarterfinals? I tried to look it up and then forgot. Made a note to look it up and then.
This is the semi-finals. So this is the top four, which means that each of these teams is guaranteed promotion to the Super Invitational, which only GGW's team plays in, along with these teams next season.
Sounds pretty cool to me. Yes, it's not actually real, but other than that, it sounds pretty cool, even if it's not real.
It would be really sick, honestly. But it looks like we are just about to be underway. Are you much of a Retrance aficionado?
I play a lot of cross keys, less Retrance actually, but I'm familiar.
Okay, yeah. So
the usual division of starts with some people going Houlihan and some people starting at Thank, which this time is in the Dark World, which is probably just going to be the ledge check, the pyramid ledge check, and a save and quit. But you never know.
Indeed, we have 8 drops. We know that Sank gets us right here to the old pyramid, although Relkin and Humbug both starting here, which is or both getting here pretty quickly, which surprises me, honestly. I'm not fully sure why, but we'll see what they choose to do with that. But Link's house.
Yeah, my guess is they just want the money. It's a 300 rupees, and it's, you know.
Yeah.
I think at least Relkin opted out of the Houlihan start and immediately saved and quit once he got the news that there was a quicker 300. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you grab that money. I think with splitting people that it's very likely that you will end up, splitting your 300s at some point. And Retrance is so money hungry for all those small keys and ideally arrows. Hopefully we find arrows at some point. But I'm independently bad at keeping track of my own entrance randomizer seeds, and so trying to watch even 2 or 4 screens of entrance, I'm already bamboozled.
This is my first time trying to talk about a 4-person race. But we did find that there was one item dropped down in the Lost Woods, and it was just Greg, the Green Rupee of Eternal Glory. So that's a little unfortunate because you'd like the drop downs that you can get to have something useful. That was the well at Lumberjack. So 5 items behind AGA 1. Yay.
Yeah. Flip Heel finding some reds on a tree pole, which is nice, and a take any cave there for Iker. Not too bad up at the Lumberjack hut. I don't imagine we're going to see Flip Heel find his way up there, but you never know. Smolderm Cave here on Humbug's side. May as well just respond to what we're seeing, because I'm already lost. We have the old woman connector here. Oh, and boots on Humbug's side and Smoldorm's. That's pretty fantastic. We'll probably see Relkin get there pretty quickly. Although I don't know which cave Humbug's in. We're about to find out. Okay, it's just outside of CAC. We're probably going to see neither team miss that for all that long. But Relkin isn't beelining down to the bottom of the village immediately. So the value of walking to the bottom of the village they're assessing, it's better to just kind of hoof it around the village slowly and then go down and get them when it's time.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's probably not going to save you as much time as another trip through the village. I'm a little surprised that he didn't nip into Desert Palace North and borrow that key, because it's Retrance and one key is as good as any other. So that's basically 100 rupees lying on the floor. But, it would be several seconds. And maybe you want it there when you go in. So it's there and you don't forget how many keys you need to do desert if and when the time comes.
Yeah. Flip also go into Pyramid to pick up that 300. As we were kind of touching on a little bit. Good to have that 300 early.
Yeah, and obviously Flip did finish his Houlihan, and therefore he has Zora money whenever he needs it at this point.
Exactly. That's kind of why I like the just sticking to the Houlihan Open. You almost always, I mean, it's not even that uncommon to end up with both runners doing a Houlihan and co-op retrants, just because the mode can be so money hungry.
Yeah, sometimes one will try to put it off, but often you have to. But apparently, maybe not in this seed. We'll have to see. There does seem to be a bunch of money lying around.
Yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. So far, we're just kind of seeing mostly these early Sphere Zero checks. Kakariko, very, very dense. I think between Kakariko and Lostwood, it's something like 33 entrances or something that you get to knock out, neglecting the drops. It's a ton of entrance equity just over here in Western Light World.
Yeah, and the big key of Thieves Town is our first trackable item after the boots and the starting sword. So that is a useful thing to find early so that you don't have to go hunt for it later. Obviously, we have no idea what our pendants and crystals are yet. We did see the map to Pod, but obviously it's far too early to do a map check even in the light world, let alone in the dark world, which of course we don't have access to yet.
Yeah, we'll see. Is Crossworld, so any connector could just spit us out there. But we'll see how it all shakes out. Big ups to our trackers though, who are getting these things marked, because they are going to be the ones who are keeping us on the rails, or at least as close to the rails as possible. So thanks to Arteril and Werfjig for tracking this one. They're going to be being sure that we are honest about entrances and items and all such things. I'm going to do my best to ignore most of it.
And Relkin has found his way to the mountain, and either there or on the way there, he found the lantern in the back of Sahasrala's hut. I did not catch exactly where that was.
So this is another 5-item cave pretty early. Co-op retrance is so fast, and like nothing in Hype Cave there, so...
Yeah, just a key, which is basically cash at this point. It's almost exactly equivalent to 100 rupees, although we haven't actually found a store that can convert them yet. There are several in the world in various places, I believe.
Yeah, I'm impressed at Don't Forget to Track Us's ability to dodge those boots. I'm surprised they haven't done those South Kakariko entrances, and it wasn't clear to me exactly how they got drawn away from it.
I think Iker may just not have gotten there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Flip has been over in Eastern. Maybe they're just doing a single split CAC. Only 7 minutes in, it's not too gross. Yeah, Flip Heel's just 0 small keys. We're just going to do fighter sword, ball and chains here for 1 chest, and if it's a small key, I guess get the second one. But I think Don't Forget to Track Us being very responsive to items and entrances, especially on Flip Heel's side, that they find as they find them. Not a bad call by any stretch of the imagination, especially when you get Kana Samaria. That's a nice find there.
Yeah, that's a huge payoff for doing an obnoxious check early. And there is a store on Humbug's side. He is buying arrows, and he is buying a key.
So. Yeah, and we see Old Man on Iker's side. So now Iker's up on the mountain, and Boots just bless RNG for Boots.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt a little.
We'll see when these boots show up. And Relkin using the boots in the intended way, not adequately though. Didn't have enough A presses. Unfortunate. Let's see what we find at the. We're headed back into the witch's hut for Flip Heel. We had this. That was a key shop. Okay, So yeah, we're going to load up on our small keys now, I think, and palms.
That'll be really useful if the flute shows up and an extra key is always just a couple button presses away.
Yeah, that is potentially a very, very valuable shop. I mean, valuable enough that Flippeel's up here again after hula-handing. So, I mean, that's a commitment to the key shop, is
Yep.
getting an extra route up to that hut without the flute. And looks like Flippeel is headed for those entrances that Ikir got drawn away from on that old man play. So we're going to get those boots over here on the left side of the screen. And we found Ganon here on Humbug's side. We already knew Ganon because of the whole hand. I just, again, incapable of watching even one screen effectively, let alone 4.
Yeah, I'd completely missed that too. No worries. It's just 4 eyes, 4 races, except that the eyes don't track as well.
Yeah, the racers, I mean, 2 of the eyes nominally have communication with one another, but 2 of the racers definitely have communication with one another. So, yeah, I'll give the racers the edge in this one, especially over my set eyes. But we're about to get our boots here for Flipeel. There they are. If you like that boot sprite, that was your second to last shot at it. You'll have another shot at it here as Ikir finds a cave where he would much rather have boots. I don't even think Relkin did the bonk check, actually, in Hookshot Cave. I think he just straight up tried to hover and then just bailed on it, now that I'm thinking about it.
I missed that, but that would be really funny if it's true.
I kind of hope he did. That would have some real gamer energy to it, and I would like it.
For extra awesomeness points, it could be the hookshot.
Yeah, in my headcanon, Relkin tried to hover the top chest, failed, and then walked out of the cave. And Ikir is staying around on the mountain here.
Humbug showing us that we do now have Dark World access through Desert Palace. I didn't see where the east side was, but the right side was just a key for a key and a piece of heart. And the left side leads to the Dark World bumper cave, so we'll still be seeing it again probably at some point when we have a mirror. And that led up to Take Any, and now Humbug is at 5 hearts. Hooray!
Yeah, we got to Take Any heart, and Humbug's headed over to clean up that eastern area that we saw Flipeel on earlier. At least I think that's probably where we're headed. Nope, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, Ikir not in a particular hurry. Doing front of escape without boots here. There's a lot of long straight travel in this area.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I didn't see where the entrance was that got him into Hyrule Castle. It may still have been on the mountain. I don't know.
Yeah, ended up here, and this feels like we're kind of getting priced into a bunch of bad things. And Flipeel has found another key shop. Why not? Drossi pointing out that don't forget to track us as 2 picks in this series as the higher seed. And so this was Flipeel and Ikir's pick. Anytime you pick an entrance mode against Humbug and Relkin is kind of scary. Just in honesty. I mean, all 4 of these racers are excellent players at entrance. I mean, you don't get to the semifinals of any league, let alone the Invitational League, without being very solid across modes. But Relkin and Humbug, I would say, are some of the scariest entrance players. So this is a heck of a pick.
Yeah, compared to me, every player in Invitational is scary, so I have a hard time judging who's better than who else. But yeah, all of these players are great. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. So
yeah,
the rest of us just look and learn.
I mean, Relkin and Humbug regularly thrash me at things, even though I do have a co-op reference win over them, which is possibly the best win I have. I don't know. But then Flipeel also just destroyed me yesterday piloting someone in the Cross Keys Mentor tournament. So and Ikir has Ikir actually crushed me in Retrance by 30 minutes the other day.
out.
So I don't know. All these gamers are great.
So Relkin is now in Castle Tower and had a key. So we see the
Yep.
second check. And now the question, and it looks like Relkin is going to finish the climb. It is in logic.
Yeah.
The well behind Lumberjack is in logic with one sword. I guess it doesn't even take a sword in Retchman's Nest. No, there's the curtain. It does
Yeah,
take
you
a
have to
sword.
slice the curtain still. So the sword,
But
lamp.
the lamp and a sword and the boots, put that in logic.
Yeah, so this is a 5-check continuation play. And so I don't think you get away from this, especially in co-op. You need to know if that's something you can close out or not. So Relkin, by virtue of having keys, is basically forced into this. I would not be shocked if Cackwell has our Moon Pearl in this one.
Yeah, that is certainly in logic.
And Ikir, similarly, on the way to get boots, also has that lamp. So we'll see if there's a play back to Castle Tower anytime soon. I don't think it's something you route aggressively, but I think it's something where, like, if you're in the area, in Relkin's case, like, oh, here's Castle Tower, can be pretty opportunistic, and you kind of have to.
Yeah. And the good news for Don't Forget to Track Us is that Ikir is going to have to go to Castle Tower fairly soon because the Cane of Samaria was in the first chest. Fliphill did find that. The tracker looks like it ate the input, but Fliphill has that. So Ikir will be going there, and I assume now that he has the keys and the lamp, that he also will be doing Aga 1 as soon as he gets there.
Yeah, I think Samaria is a great incentive to get back.
Exactly.
And so you be sure that you have the keys in order, and then one of the nice things about co-op modes is you can always send sort of the behind runner into a place and use them to both get value and then also clean up things that you couldn't do on the first go round.
Yeah, and it looks like I just can't read in this. Ikir has 0 keys at the moment, so he will need to pick up a key somewhere before he goes back there. I misread that number, but yeah.
Ikir has 291 rupees and a Thieves Town entrance.
Now, this is spicy.
Where was the Power Glove?
The Power Glove was in the back of Escape, the Sanctuary drop-down. I don't know where that was on the overworld, but everybody will be getting it eventually. It wasn't an out-of-the-way.
Well, Sanctuary,
everyone needs to do.
Sanctuary is behind Ganon's Tower, but of course with the lamp and at least like all the small keys that are general, right?
He came in the long way. Okay.
So you would have had to do it from
again.
The front
that is in logic at this point. So everyone will get there eventually. Thieves Town also is 7 checks in logic at the moment. So I assume that Ikir isn't going to wait for the hammer. He's going to go back, and then they'll see if they can afford to let Flipio wait for the hammer before he goes in to pick up that 8th check when they can get to it.
Yeah, that's a pretty typical play with Thieves Town. Co-op is really nice like that. Like a lot of things that you normally might concern yourself with and just be like, okay, well, I just lose if this is the nonsense that the seed wants to do. You can kind of mitigate a lot of that risk and just say, well, I'm going to jam Thieves Town here, and then if there's nothing here, we just aren't sending, partner here anytime soon. But
Humbug has a 2nd sword. I did not see where he picked that up, but that will be useful. I expect it won't take that too long for Relkin to get there, unless it was in a really awful location.
Yeah, 2nd sword's nice. I don't think you go super out of your way for it, but I mean, we'll see how things shape up. I'm trying to remember if the Hyrule Castle entrance that we had access to was up on the mountain, or where we got Hyrule Castle front in some way.
I never did figure that out, so we'll have to find out. And here's the well on Relkin's side, blue rupee.
And I guess with sword and known lamp, when Relkin and Humbug find that, they'll pretty much have to play through to the back, assuming that it's not some sort of small key disaster. which means they will get that power glove. But right now, that power glove is ringing as a pretty nice advantage for Don't Forget to Track Us early, after having been late to those boots. I say late, but I mean comparatively late. It's not like they lost them or left them there for 20 minutes.
It was only a few minutes. The whale did not have the moon pearl, but it did have the fire rod, so that's almost certainly required.
Gosh.
I expect that Don't Forget to Track Us will get there sooner rather than later. But
the mental damage of praying that fire rod is not required is still too fresh in my mind.
I'm sorry, I missed that, Russ. I did not see that one.
Oh gosh. I have the great experience of having had a teammate be the world record holder for fastest cross keys loss at 3 minutes into the race.
Oh dear.
But no, it's all good. It looks like Flip is going for his A button presses. Can you press A adequately? Nope. Ain't nobody pressing A today. We at least
see if he remembers to do the bonk chest. Did he?
We did the bonk chest before we got to that attempted hover.
I just missed it.
I didn't see what was there.
Yeah, I was watching Relkin do a hula hen. So he now has Zora money, and I think he might be headed to fake flipper.
That's why I didn't like Relkin bailing on the hula hen early. Is like it's very likely you end up going back and just doing it at some point.
Yeah. Okay, and Flipheel has gotten into Hyrule Castle and discovered that the Hyrule Castle main entrance is actually the back of Skull Woods. Of course, without the Moon Pearl.
We got that fire rod, so we're gonna death warp here. And we've popped out of Ganon's tower on Ikir's side. I didn't see what led us there, but it's the flippers at the library. That's right, Humbug found those. And sent Relkin there as well. I guess, you make sure to do the hula hand when you don't have a glove yet early. Although, we do have boots, so we could boots hula hand. I think we saw someone setting up a boots hula hand. That might have been what Relkin ultimately did. I saw someone bonk and dash turn off that tree. Probably Relkin.
Yeah, I was not looking at how he got in. I only noticed him in the hula hand chamber.
Yeah. As it turns out, instead of inadequately watching 4 streams and watching 1 or more streams well, I'm just definitely only inadequately watching 4 streams, and so I'm a stream of imperfect information and mixed up signals. But we are into the Ice Rod Cave area here, and we found Ganon's tower under the lift rock. So that power glove locks GT for everyone, but now known for Ikir and Flipheel.
Yeah, and there are only the 3 checks in logic in GT right now.
Yeah, feels kind of gross not having that cane of Samaria. Although,
that's right, the cane. We have the cane and the fire rod we know about, but no.
Yeah.
Relkin has both. So when he finds GT, he has the entire right side in logic.
Yep. Although with Kane, Ikir would have to do the gross bomb jump thing or hover, whichever, and not particularly fun. So we'll see. Oh, we're getting flips. So flips were down there. Actually, we were in Ice Rod Cave area for both Relkin and Humbug. So that GT entrance is isolated for their team. So that is actually really interesting to know, because they both went there to get the flippers. And so that is looking kind of like a one-off for them. And the other entrance is Sea House in the area with library, so it's both dead ends. There's no connector down to there. So we'll have to see when they choose to get back to it. Relkin must have messed up his altitude variable because he's just pressing A, and he's fallen in a hole. We're going back up. We're trying again. But now the altitude variable is sure to be right, so we're probably just going to bomb jump.
Yeah. Humbug came through there. I think the ice rod was in Paradox, and I don't believe Humbug checked any of the connectors. So I think this will be our first look at a different exit.
Yeah, there was a little pause there in that room with the small rooms, and we don't have gloves, so we just got closed out of Paradox. Unfortunate. And Relkin's, okay, I'm here. Where am I going? Where am I going? Okay, save.
Have they already checked Agena, and I completely missed them being in the desert area? I'm a little surprised he didn't check Agena from there.
If they hadn't checked Agena's cave entrance, there's almost a 0% chance that they're not doing that there. So I have to think that they were there, although I don't know what was at that entrance location.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, with that being as good of a spot as you're ever going to end up for getting that entrance, like, it's better than fluting to 6. So yeah, there's no other way to get that more easily. So I can't imagine Relkin would have skipped there if they didn't have it already. And Flip is climbing the castle tower. But yeah, Ikir can go back in because of the power glove, so does immediately.
Ooh.
And we're going to get that last entrance. So, oh, is that a flute on Zorledge? That is a flute on Zorledge. That's juicy. That could get us... Comically, those flippers might be the recipe to get us back down to that GT entry.
Yeah, because that's obviously much quicker to get to when you have the flute.
Yeah, I was...
Other thing you... Go ahead.
I was worried about flute behind glove potentially really spelling a mess for getting back to that GT entry. Or if, like, flute's just in GT somewhere. But flute is here on Zorledge, so all of those things are non-factors.
The only other thing to worry about there is if you try to hold off until you find the mirror and do Dark Shopping Mall and Light World Shopping Mall at the same time. But that's a long way off, and there are enough things that might be gating it that are in GT that my guess would be that we'll see them have to find that entrance before they get to Dark Shopping Mall.
Yeah. That said, I 100% am trying to greed that, so you know, we'll see if these runners do. But Relkin is NMGing his way back up into Kakariko. Unfortunate spin speed, much better spin speed. And we're going to beat, because we've already beaten Aga, yeah. So Usain Bolt is in his normal place. NMG rings strong, and Relkin's going to activate that flute. That was like, minus it being Fighter Sword and not Master Sword, kind of as close to NMG as you'll like ever get for those screens. And we found Pod. I don't know where Pod was, but Ikir's in Pod and has 5 small keys, so that's pretty good. We're stocked up on small keys, and one of the reasons you want to do that is Pod exists. And Ikir's going to show us why.
Yeah, and we don't have the big key, so unless it's in here, we're not finishing it. But other than that and the big chest, we can do all of the checks in Pod. So that'll be 12 checks, probably.
Yeah, I would expect a full 12 checks here.
I'm assuming that everyone in this race can mimic Clip comfortably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there are runners in this race whom I've, not to my recollection, seen mimic Clip, but like that's a very low bar for me making any sort of judgment about capability.
I obviously can't swear that I've seen all 4 of them do it.
Yeah. Oh, hook shot, yo. This is how I lose by 30 minutes to Ikir. Is Ikir just finds the stuff.
And Relkin is now on his way to get that glove. Oh, and Humbug has already found it, unless I missed another one somewhere. So now we have when will To Infinity and Pgog find GT, and when will Ikir and Flipheel find the flute on Zorledge?
Those are both kind of gross spots, honestly. Very easy to put them off just for favor of other very reasonable density.
Yeah, exactly. They're not things that anybody would do by choice, really.
Yeah, especially with both runners on Pgog having their flippers already. Now we are about to get the glove here for Relkin. Apparently Humbug has it already, or we found a second glove. Not actually sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. I completely missed him getting the glove at all.
are gonna, I guess, yeah, technically it's faster to use the bomb there, huh? See, I need to watch Relkin play more because I'm just going to learn things. And Ikira is going to farm up a lot of rupees in the back of pod.
Yeah, that makes it more likely that Zora is on his mind at least, although in veterans, money is always on your mind. Humbug is also in pod and will be finding his hookshot shortly and following through in Ikir's footsteps around the dungeon, I assume.
Yeah, pretty reasonable. I mean, that hook shot's kind of nice to have early, especially in case the hammer shows up. That could be relevant for left side GT. We have seen some dubious hover attempts from all sides. So we'll see. Might be avoiding hover day. We'll see. We'll see. Humbug's coming up to the best value hover in the game, so we'll see if he goes for it. Humbug has the advantage of it being not very late night and instead being medium early morning, being in structural mic time.
We'll see if that helps his hovering. In the meantime, Ikir did not bother to mimic clip. He knows he has to go back to pod anyway when the big key shows up. So he's going to save those 2 checks for later or for Flipio if something shows up. And Relkin found GT.
Okay, yeah. So they got back to it pretty quickly. Now, Ikir and Flip, don't yet have the flute, but have other stuff to do. And I assume we're going to see Relkin go right side here.
Yeah, he needed to grab that small key because he didn't have any at the moment.
Yeah. And even still, I don't mind just... Oh, nice small key. Thanks, Hope Room.
Should have
Hope
hoped
Room
harder.
always... Hope, this is why you just route Hope Compass left. Even with Fire Rod Samaria, no hammer, clearly. Oh, speaking of hammer, hookshot led to hammer. Wish we could have hovered better, but we couldn't. Rip Relkin's free hammer. But that is hammerless pod to get us our hammer. Also,
unless you're a runner.
Yeah, our Terrell making some nice points about flute being mountain access, and apparently glove not mattering. I'm really there's a bottle in tile room of all things. This is where Humbug's like, okay, dude, if we find sick kid, that's on you. But yeah, I'm glad our trackers have a great sense of the logic in the items. I find it personally, like, as a viewer, I already struggle to keep track of all the logic. As a commentator, I'm just lost. I have no chance.
Yeah. Oh, I see laser bridge, so that'll be 4 items coming up. And Relkin is in compass room and grabbing many keys and the mirror.
Oh, that is juicy. And Ikir, do we have a fairy? No, Ikir may have just taken a really gross death. No, we popped into laser bridge entrance. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, Ikir doesn't have Samaria yet. There's no other way we were getting here unless Ikir really wanted to press A a lot of times. That's gross. Don't do it. But yeah, that mirror is a pretty big find. Relkin getting bopped. This is, yeah, unfortunately. Oh, and using that red potion. This is...
Yeah, don't have a problem with that. You need more hearts.
See, this is...
There we go. Yeah, you have time to do that.
Relkin needs the structural mic strat for that.
Oh, that was cute. I've never seen that done with a Samaria block before.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. And we do not have the GT big key. We haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have that before we end up doing left
right.
side, except that we know that left side is in logic. So once somebody finds that hammer.
I just have to comment on Relkin being locked in on Retron's Sprain. That was actually low-key amazing. So instead of grabbing the bottom pot, which was only 5 rupees, which is sort of the default, you always grab it because it's 5 arrows normally in NMG or most runs, went for the small decanter instead.
That's very cool.
Which is just, that's so good. I love it because one of the best weapons we have against these Armos Knights is that fire rod.
Yep.
And
we'll
so like
he pulls it out.
I love seeing that from Relkin. That's really heads up. And Flip grabbing that hook shot and leaving. And Ike here is going to find that flute here, or has found that flute, and is going to go acquire that flute.
Flip Hill has already picked up the flute, according to our wonderful trackers. So, yep, and now he shows it on the screen just in the nick of time. Thank you, Flip Hill.
And so with Mirror here, I'm surprised Relkin's not using the fire rod, but deciding to conserve magic here on the Armos Knights.
Yeah, he has just heard where the hammer is, and there are men.
Titansmiths and a shovel. This is all right. So great game to play right now. Where is our Moon Pearl?
Yeah, that's the biggest question by far at this point.
Do you have an inclination about where Moon Pearl might be?
I honestly don't. My suspicion is that it'll be on East Death Mountain because we haven't been there yet with that hookshot we just found. But so, I don't know.
With Samaria Fire Rod, like all of this all in logic, pushing right side GT, I love this play by Relkin to get down logic with that mirror and these mitts, with flippers and flute, and to start checking out what's going on over here in Desert and Mire. This was like forefront of my mind, and we're going to play the archery game. We're going to take a little bit of time and see maybe if Humbug finds the Moon Pearl for us. There
actually was a connector to the Mire area. I saw somebody in there poking into Mire Shed at one point, but I have no idea how they got there. I don't think there was anything useful there, but I don't remember whether they checked the other 2 accessible entrances.
Okay, then do we otherwise have East Dark Death Mountain? Yeah, there's just not a lot that this confluence of items or combination of items comes together to do for us.
We're going to be seeing the left side of GT shortly because Humbug is now on his way toward the mirror, and then he has the hammer and the hookshot. That left, did I say right side GT? I meant left side GT.
You did say left side, although Humbug does not have the fire rod and is doing this gross torch thing.
Ooh, he might have forgotten about that because this is going to be very unpleasant. Good luck to you, Humbug.
It's not really that bad, but like also it does suck. And
I mean, there are certainly ways to do it and know that you're probably going to get it right, but it's also so finicky. I've seen people do it right and fail 3 consecutive times. So
yeah, Humbug is not even messing around. Is just like frame saving with abandon here off of these pauses. This is not RTA strats, but it's I don't want this door closing on me strats, and I respect it.
Yeah, that was clinic tech. That's exactly how you do that. Beautifully done. Tutorial tape, excuse me. Wrong window.
Yeah, although don't die to the Gibdos. That is not part of the tutorial. So if you want to know why Humbug is going right instead of just going left, Humbug was on 0 small keys and now has plenty of small keys and a mirror. So that's a great reason why Humbug came over this way, even with just that lamp.
And he is not going to attempt to go to the basement from the right side. He's just going to, now with the mirror, he can just go the easier way.
Yep, much easier to just play through. I was going to say, I'm grabbing that hard piece if I'm Humbug. I don't know.
Oh, and it's a refill. Nicely done.
Yeah. I was shocked Humbug started walking past that hard piece. I was like, really, dude? Really? And Flip is showing us our Moon Pearl over here behind the hook shot and the hammer. So Moon Pearl, bottom right, Stalfos room. If you missed it, you're about to see it on Humbug, and we're, 30 seconds apart to this Moon Pearl? This is a race. This is really nice.
It's been a shockingly orderly seed. Like, there hasn't been anything yet that I've noticed that was, just totally unexpected or random or not kind of telegraphed by the logic.
Yeah, I mean, Sphere 1, you never really know what you're going to get. So, like, there was some scattershot stuff, like, when do you get to those boots and things like that we kind of saw play out, but...
Right, and that often affects, like, the order in which you pick things up. But then you sort of, it led to a convergence point. There was no room for, very long-term divergence. Like, there was no way for one team to end up bunny walking in this seed, for example, while the other one found Moon Pearl somewhere out of the way.
Yeah, the Moon Pearl being in sort of a gated position, but also a high volume position, means that both are going to kind of throttle similarly to it in most cases. And so I think it's a good Moon Pearl location in that regard. I don't think either team's going to feel particularly behind about that one.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't leave it like at a one-off entrance in Sphere 1. That's also way less likely to have happen in co-op because you do have your partner for coverage.
Right, you're less likely to just
isolate nonsense.
Let out skip some. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the name of the game in co-op is largely just efficient full clear and communicating when it's right to go back and cover to pick up items the other person's found versus when it's right to continue dealing without that item and sweeping out new stuff. And I mean, honestly, I think co-op Retrance is the best co-op mode. This is at least the second time in 2 days that I've been bringing this up because I feel so strongly about it. I was so sad to see it got removed from this season of League as a regular season mode, and I'm hopeful we see it again in the regular season sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean, Retrance obviously has elements that make many people dislike it, but I agree with you. It also does add some really neat spices to what I think of as the basic Frost keys. And I agree with you. I love watching Retrance. It is really fun.
Yeah, I think Retrance is a terrible mode. I think co-op Retrance is phenomenal. It's very weird. Retrance is awful. Co-op Retrance like fixes the problems of co-op and the problems of Retrance in one fell swoop. Very interestingly. That's right. I'm using my comm platform to lobby. This is what you get on
I won't report
SpeedGaming
you to the moderators who definitely aren't listening to this way.
Yeah. At Drosy.
So Humbug actually finished the GT basement before Flipio, even though Flipio had a little bit of a head start. But they're out at basically the same time and now heading to the Meyer area. Ike here just loaded up on keys again.
Yeah, it's good to stay stocked on keys for sure. You just don't want to wander into a high key requirement dungeon and not be prepared. And with Zora taken care of for both teams, it's not that high risk to put yourself lower on rupees and just eat a little bit of time to get those keys taken care of.
And we are seeing checks in TR from Relkin. It is a pendant. I believe the big key to Turtle Rock, and there's the bow in the fire-locked right side of Turtle Rock. I believe we have seen the TR big key. I believe Humbug actually has it, but he hasn't picked up his fire rod yet. That requires climbing Castle Tower. So who knows whether Turtle Rock, Trinex probably is in logic right now, but who knows whether we'll ever actually see him in this seed.
Yeah, with it being a pendant, I mean, it depends. So Trinex can be an effective warp to get to Turtle Rock Main if Turtle Rock Main's like out of the way or something.
Yeah, I didn't see whether Relkin came in here. I know he was in the back, and he may have climbed all the way to the front.
Yeah, I think we're headed to find out where Turtle Rock Main is. Trinex can be like the most unsung connector in some of these seeds sometimes. If Turtle Rock Main's really, really gross and you have a good Trinex loadout.
I think I've even had that been required once in a seed I played. That or I missed something.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound right to me, but I am certainly
can that not be in logic?
I don't think the one-time getting ejected by things for entrances, like whether it be Castle Tower by killing Ago or killing Trinex to Turtle Rock Main, I don't think those are in logic.
Okay.
Entrance savants in chat, please correct me.
Speaking of things that nobody wants to have to do, Eastern Palace.
I love
did
Eastern.
Find the big key somewhere.
Yeah, we got 5 checks in here. Let's just jam it. We got Bow too, so like let's just clear the dungeon. We got Eastern big key. It's a 5/6 crystal. We got a bow. I don't know where we got that bow, but Relkin has it tracked, so I'm trusting our trackers.
Yeah, the bow was in the right side of PR front.
Okay. Yeah, then this is perfect.
So if the other bow is not accessible, then that does mean that the fire rod would be hard required. Even though PR is a pendant, and in any cross keys mode, you don't need the fire rod to finish Skull Woods, and we know that the back entrance is not locked.
Wait, these gamers don't want to RTA fire rod skip right side TR?
Gesundheit.
Yeah, that sounds very consistent.
Speaking of things we didn't want to see, that was the GT big key in the big chest of Eastern Palace. So there was a very orphan check in the basement, and the climb is now in logic.
Yeah, that's just excellent. Humbug with a nice specky clip there. It'd be nice if someone found a free setup for that. Maybe someday. But we're doing left side swamp right away, which I agree with. There's so many items we need. It's not like we're getting away from doing this. It's co-op. Be thorough.
Yeah, when you need to full clear it, doing the left side first is of course the most efficient way.
Yep. The risk being related to Swamp Big Key, which we already have, and the risk in a key sanity mode of that big key showing up in back of Swamp, like the probabilities are not in your favor.
Yeah, that's an awful thing that can happen sometimes, but it happens very rarely.
Yeah, and we already have the big key here, so like it's
right. And in this case, it can't happen.
Yeah, that's one of the nicest things. Like Swamp Big Key early is so much better than Swamp Big Key late. I think Swamp Big Key might be the one with the greatest like early late disparity, other than Ice.
Yeah, those two. Yeah,
those are the two that are really gross. Like Skull, it sucks, but you just go back and do it, and you grumble a little bit.
Yeah, it's not that hard to get to. It's not that big a time investment.
Swamp and Ice, you never do until the game absolutely makes you do it.
Yeah, those are always potential last locations whenever the seed puts them, whenever the seed throws them at you.
Okay, Ikir is now in good shape, although wants to get underneath the it apparently is going to use the hammer here.
That is a terrible idea.
Uh,
He has the hearts to get away with it, but it's still a terrible idea.
For some reason, I think the Armos Knight's damage, and someone knows Armos Knight's damage tables way better than me. I think the Fighter Sword does tempered damage on them. So I really don't like that hammer if that's the case. Because Armos Knights are one of the enemies with like really, really bizarre damage tables.
Yeah, I don't know if Fighter Sword does exactly tempered sword damage. I know it does do more than Master Sword. But the hammer is so finicky that the time you lose missing a hit is probably greater than the time difference from just whacking it with the sword.
Yeah, we're getting the old 4248 info from Cross Staves in chat. So yeah, those Fighter Sword pokes were just as effective as those hammer hits, and just a lot easier to nail.
Speaking of easier to nail, are glad we don't have to do Fighter Sword Moldorm. With the Master Sword, we can just do 3 spins.
Yep. Yeah, no enrage phase for that guy today, and just a piece of heart. And welcome to the homemade beer raiders. We're getting raids from the who's who of people who just like recently have thrashed me in entrance modes. All these nocturnal gamers coming out. I love it.
And we did finally see someone with a bow go into pod, and the checks on the right side were blue mail and a piece of heart. So nothing really missed by skipping that or putting it off. Everybody has enough hearts that they're not that worried about the blue mail at all.
Yeah. Relkin with the awesome blue mail sprite coloration. This is my favorite of that sprite. Oh, now we're Toad again. That's a lot less excellent. All right, now we're back to this nice blue and yellow suit. I just think it looks so sharp. It's like a great riff on the blue mail with the yellow hat for Link for that Mario sprite. As much as I hate playing with alternate sprites, I do love the look of the alternate sprites for a lot of other people who do play with them.
Yeah, the variety is wonderful. I'm so glad that so many people put time into making so many options.
Yeah. I guess Flip is the Piranha Plant and Humbug is Yoshi. This is a very confusing race for anyone who did not come in accustomed to what's going on.
Which Nintendo game are we playing here?
This is a very bizarre one. There are Chain Chomps. It's more Mario canon than Zelda canon at this point. We're turning in the Smith. I think this is our first Smith turn-in.
I believe so. I have not seen
it. It's the first Smith turn-in that I've noticed, and it's a red rupee. So you pay him $10 and you get $20 back, which is like, that's a deal, but I don't think it's worth the time. But I assume we're going to see this follow into the purple chest play.
That's what it looks like.
All right. Relkin going back for GT Climb, it looks like. Is that where we're headed? GT Climb? Nope. Oh, left side. Okay.
Okay. He hasn't done left side yet.
But does have the big key. So unless Humbug comes up with something real soon, we might be looking at that climb. That's the other thing that I really like about co-op Retrance is that it can very defensively be like a 115 mode. I don't think this is a 115 seed. This is looking more like a 120s, 130s seed. I don't know. I don't know if I'm willing to be that pessimistic and say 130s, but maybe.
Yeah, there's nothing that has bogged us down yet, and I believe we might be only 3 big keys from Go mode. We need Desert, we need Pod, and actually we don't need Hera. So we might. What are we missing other than the big keys for DP and Pod?
Do we have all the entrances? Given that we haven't done
There's
I think
always the
we're
chance
missing
that we need
potentially
a medallion,
entrances,
of course.
but we have Eastern. We have Desert North. We have Hera. We have Pod. We have Swamp.
We have not found
do we have
Ice
Skull North?
Palace, I believe.
Do we have
Sorry,
Skull
what?
North
Oh, we may not have found Skull North either.
or Skull Back or whatever?
So yeah, we
So we're
we
still
have
on
entrances
entrance.
to find.
Yeah. But when we find Skull, that's one entrance, two big keys. Let's see, this purple chest has real potential to be $20. And Relkin is not climbing GT, okay. So there's other better things to do they've assessed. Sweeping out entrances, it looks like, which with an outstanding at least Skull on their side makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, when you're in entrance mode, it probably makes sense to chase entrances and see if you find what you need on the way.
Yeah, gross, slow item check plays versus letting the items line up and trying to sweep out and find that entrance. And maybe it's just in some weird item cave that is not on your radar necessarily. Now we've found Smoldorm's Hype Cave. Have we found Blind's Hut yet?
I have not noticed it if we did.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen Blind's Hut on any screens. We have Paradox, so we do have an item dense cave out there as well, I think. And so it's possible there's good value in unchecked entrances.
Yeah, as Cross Staves is saying in chat, I don't think they've done either East Death Mountain or East Dark Death Mountain. I'm not sure we've had a connector take us over there. And we can get to them now with Flute and Hookshot and Mitts. So there are a bunch of entrances there.
So just of note, Flip at 8 blue is deciding that take any hearts are not worth it at this point. Which is why Flip is still in these playoffs and I am not.
Yeah, I imagine that's the point at which. Did he just not do it at all? Yeah, you'll save that and go back for the blue potion, if or when you have an empty bottle at this point. That's about the number of hearts at which many runners will start thinking about that.
I'm a heart addict. If I got less than like 14. I'm jamming that heart like right away. See heart.
Otherwise, how do you get
right,
extra sword? Magical sword.
Apparently, my philosophy is the same as Ares, and so it's not just the decision making that's making me lose. I'm glad I've started a debate about the value of heart versus blue potion later in chat. That's exactly what I came to do.
And apparently I'm just wrong, and most of the east side of the mountains has in fact been done, and I just managed to completely miss it every time. So thank you, chat.
It is okay, Blomsha. I have I couldn't have told you better. So we're in the same situation here.
Yeah, the comms are just going to miss some things, even some big things, when trying to watch four races at once. That's just the way it works. Speaking of the way it works, we have the Thieves Town Big Chest, and it is just a heart. So that won't be hurting anyone this season.
And don't forget to track us. Found that though on right side TR in the front, and found Eastern, and yeah, we're going right in. Eastern Big Key also. So Ike here going through the exact same process that Relkin just went through with just a little bit more equivocation about like, oh yeah, I just got the bow. I can go into this freely.
And Fliphill found the back of Skull, but so that's that entrance that we're no longer looking for.
But yes, this is actually live. So yeah, we did have a 2 a.m. Eastern race, and that's the only reason I am commentating it. It's great. I love this. These late night randos.
Yeah, this is a little after lunchtime for me. I'm on the U.S. West Coast, but I have a weird schedule, so this is my happy zone.
That is a hacked up lunchtime there, West Coast.
Yep.
I approve.
Yep. Schedules are what we make them.
Yep. We're about to get this Bombos tab check. I don't think we've seen a Bombos tab check yet. Where was that book of Medora? I guess we only have one book of Medora. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen this Bombos tab yet. Oh, it's Silvers.
Well, hello.
Where was that book of Medora? Great question for our trackers.
I have no idea.
Our trackers tracked it.
One of our trackers clearly did this shit happen.
All right, so our Terrell's on top of it, realizing that means that we didn't need a fire rod, so apparently it wasn't locked behind the other bow somehow.
All right. Well, Humbug has still not done Castle Tower. He's been gambling on the fire rod not being required, and they may get away with it, and that may save them 5 minutes, which is a lot in a co-op race.
Yeah, you put those things off. I've been in that exact situation where it's just like, okay, how long can I sensibly put off getting the mirror? Which is like, it's a weird question to have to ask yourself.
Yeah,
when you know
really
where the mirror is. And I'm just like, do I go into Ice Palace for this mirror? And sometimes the answer is just no.
Yep, sometimes you don't need it.
Sometimes you can dodge.
Speaking of don't need, that was the back of Blind's hut.
Yeah, we did find it.
It was empty. It was on East Death Mountain, and there was nothing useful.
Yeah, so we are out of very item-dense caves, but still do need that Skull Woods. And, we're getting some more Turtle Rock action. Not Trinex yet.
I think he might be going for the only bow he knows about, which requires going from the very back of TR all the way through.
You can get it from Castle Tower or from Castle Top by mirroring on Pyramid, though, which is going to be faster.
Okay.
I have to think there's something else going on in this Turtle Rock. Because especially with Eastern being there, like, you would just go to Dark World and mirror on the Pyramid to go grab your bow and then mirror back out. But it does look like Flip is headed in the general direction of that bow. I'm not sure about this route.
Maybe they just hadn't done Crystal Roller yet and needed somebody to check it somehow. And once you're there, you might as well continue.
Yeah.
I don't know how the timing works out on that.
It's very reasonable coverage. Depends what else you have. I mean, getting over to Pyramid is never particularly fast. Oh, right. No, it is particularly fast. We have Sanctuary.
Really fast.
It's actually particularly fast. Ignore me and listen to me.
It's so nice to have two separate co-coms.
Yeah. I'm glad that there's 3 of us here in the booth right now, me disagreeing with me, and then you being like, what the hell are those guys talking about? And there's the book.
There was the book.
It's
all right. Fascinating.
Yeah. We could remind ourselves that it is 4 small key locked in Turok, but of course it's Retrance, so no. It just has a high potential rupee cost.
And it does mean that one bow was in TR and the other was locked by TR, but that's meaningful in a cross key seed where there are so many ways into TR.
Yeah, both bows in TR effectively. And we're grabbing. We're not getting that bow out of the front of TR right now. We are going to kill Trinex. So Flip was on coverage and will probably do that Pyramid playoff sank. I kind of love it. Riding a platform.
He'll be getting the bow after he kills Trinex because Trinex will take him right to the front.
Yeah, exactly. You get that free ride to the front of Castle, which now that we have Mirror is less valuable than I had hoped it might be when we were postulating about nonsense earlier. But is going to get this Trinex kill.
Batting in the Trinex and just checking it, saying it's worth checking at this point. So
yeah, I love this. It's a free way to get that bow. And if this is the item, I mean, this is big potential.
Yeah, to
'Cause,
infinity,
like,
and Pgog isn't doing Trinex anytime soon.
yeah, this is a big upside play for Track Us. And what do we got? We got a compass.
Womp,
For Ice
womp.
Palace, it's a pendant compass though, so you know, it's more differently, similarly valued to any other compass. So yeah, not gonna help that much, but does get that out. Nice fence dash there for Relkin. No, expect nothing less.
And now Humbug is claiming the bow he can get to. So
Yeah, Humbug's getting that bow, no fire rod. So I guess Torch right side GT for Mirror is paying dividends. That's kind of sick. And Flip is going to go get the bow that their team knows about. So we're getting competing kind of silly bows, all things considered.
it looks like we're starting in on a little dungeon cleanup time, on at least on To Infinity and Pgog's side.
Yeah, about that
they
time,
know
we got
there's nothing
Spiral
left in Thieves Town to get, but Humbug is going to finish it off anyway.
Yeah. Have we seen Spiral Cave? I'm real bad about this stuff.
I do not recall it.
Oh, does anyone else have half magic?
Yes, Ikea does have half
Ikea has half
magic,
magic,
so
so yeah,
maybe
we've
yeah.
seen Spiral Cave, and it comes out to there. It's, you know, it's new information if I haven't seen it before.
Right, exactly. And if we see it and forget about it, then it can be new information multiple times.
Yeah. And this half magic lining up real nice for this Cape Spike Cave. And Flip is walking past chests in Eastern, just saying, I don't need these. Just need the crystal.
Yeah, Ike's been through here, so he knows what he needs and what he doesn't.
And possibly this GT Big T, yeah. I mean, good grab. So that would have been a big mistake. If
I am beginning to wonder who gives in and goes into Misery Mire first, because we know where that is, and it's 8 check. Or up to 8 check, depending on how thorough one wants to be.
Yeah, it's good density. You know, we might be looking at a situation where first into Misery Mire is a good litmus for who's ahead, weirdly, because I think you kind of clear down to it, and be sure that you have coverage on all the silly things. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and Relkin's actually getting back to Trinex sooner than I thought they would.
Yeah,
So,
I'm surprised at that. But
yeah, I
assume that means we're starting to run out of mediocre checks and getting down to really bad ones, really time-consuming ones.
Yeah, although Trinex ahead of, like, Mire, for instance, that's one of those ones that, you know, surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, it surprises me too, but obviously I don't trust my judgment. I also don't know exactly where Misery Mire was, so I'm not sure how hard it is to get back to. And as Chad is pointing out, Pet is not actually dead, so you have to stick around and grab the pendant.
Yeah, I mean, if you're killing Trinex for the item, you're taking the pendant with you, and I mean, it's not really worth making the trek to Ped outside of that, although it's probably worth checking Ped prior to going into Mire. Is that what we're seeing Relkin do right now? Probably.
Yeah, I don't know why else he'd be going this direction.
I mean, Flute to 3 seems about like that. So yeah, this is probably, we are about to start going independent dungeons that potentially have, you know, boss situations that aren't excellent. Although, I mean, given that it's a keys mode, you can just kind of jam the boss and hope the item's there anyway. But it's good to know. I'm less wild about it in keys than like something else in this situation, but I think it's good information to have, and we're going into the Misery Mire entrance with that ether medallion.
Will we get a burb toss? That's the real question.
No. Relkin's
Yeah, I don't think so either.
a decent human being, as best I can tell. And his skull is back.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so Flipfield did already find that.
Mhm.
And we just missed where it was.
Yeah. So that's where that was. And we know, Ikir knows that he needs to grab the ether medallion at some point.
And I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah. Humbug apparently also now knows that he needs to grab the ether medallion at some point, and we'll see which team has an idea where that ether medallion came from. I would imagine they both do, but I've definitely also been in the co-op veterans or co-op anything voice call of where was that medallion? Oh god, do I need to pull up the VOD?
Yeah, one of the things, I mean, there are many reasons why nobody will ever see me attempting to stream this game. But one of them is that I just have to pause so often when I'm playing an entrance mode to track things and keep straight. And their ability to, real runners' ability to keep track of things while they are playing the game the entire time without ever pausing is just amazing to me.
Yeah, it's... Lumsha, I adore this. As you know, you're a newer commentator, and the fact that you were just immediately baiting me into an auto tracking argument is lovely.
I apologize.
And I adore it so much. Yeah, so this is why tracking is a skill.
Oh, it is absolutely a skill. Yeah. The question about, whether it is a skill we want to prioritize or emphasize to what degree is completely separate. It is absolutely a skill. And it's in some ways a physical skill, because part of the reason that I can't do it quickly is that I'm always fumbling with my mouse. But mostly it's a mental skill, and this game is, it's cool that this game involves both physical and mental skill.
I agree. And I'll stop there because I don't want to be more banned than Zafakel on SpeedGaming. Nice 5 rupee bonk there from Humbug. I don't think that was intentional, given that he didn't collect 5 rupees and has 1,350 rupees.
Yeah, even in a reference seed, 1,350 is probably the point at which you stop worrying about money.
Okay, so Ikir is going to go get that ether medallion that is here at the dig game. And makes it off the screen with 7 seconds to spare. No text box for Ikir today.
Nice time save.
Yeah.
And here is Ice Palace, which I was wondering whether we'd seen it or not. But if we hadn't, now we have. So in goes Humbug.
Yeah. This is, at some point, this is density. I don't know if we can get like the man with butterfly meme about is this density, but yes, this is density. Like we just, what are you gonna do? You're gonna climb GT? Like,
yeah, no, you're definitely.
You got 8 checks in Ice Palace. Just
climb.
Jam.
You're probably going to do Mire before you climb.
Yeah.
I suppose there could be a circumstance in which one runner goes into Mire while the other starts the climb. But I don't want to lose I don't want to draw the short straw of the climb for that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's co-op though. It's average time, so honestly, it's whoever can execute the climb better.
Yeah, or whoever
Yeah.
happens to be, standing next to GT when
Yeah,
the question comes up.
whoever can do it
depending.
with the
Yep.
least time loss.
Yeah. Speaking of time losses, we see a nice big pink bomb. Relkin will be fluting, presumably to 5. Yep.
Yeah. For anyone who has been bedging too
That's not
hard
5.
to catch the beginning of this race,
Oh, right. He's done
at
that.
Structural
He's got to get
Bike,
that way.
the pyramid drop is Sanctuary, and so we went to the back with the lamp early to get, I believe it was the Power Glove was back there.
Yes, that's correct.
So far, Ice Palace looking kind of devoid of stuff.
Yeah, there aren't a ton of things left that would constitute stuff, so it's not shocking that most of our checks aren't stuff. But there's one more. I believe Pyramid Fairy was also not stuff. Humbug does in fact have a bow, by the way. It's not showing on the tracker. I assume that the program ate the input again. But he does in fact have one, if anyone in chat is wondering.
Our trackers are great and infallible, and the tracker program is
definitely not infallible.
Somewhat fallible, despite being a computer.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes whether it's fallible or merely insatiable, because it seems to subsist on a diet of eaten input. But you never know.
It loves inputs. It loves clicks the most. It's like the BuzzFeed of loving clicks.
So we only have one more check in Ice Palace. Of course, it is a crystal, so everyone will... Wait a minute. Is it not a crystal?
It's a pendant.
It's not a crystal.
It's a green pendant.
I've been thinking it was a crystal, which was why I wondered so long whether we'd seen it. So okay, yeah. I just can't see very well.
Yeah, we're getting down to the point where we're looking at like Misery Mire and different forms of misery and GT Climb and turning in this green pendant from Ice Palace, which is surely a priority for Humbug and soon Flip Heel. We're thinning out to not a lot left. And so it's probably a good time to inventory where we're at crystal-wise.
Well, Cold Stare just dropped the big key of Pod, so that's where Humbug is going next.
Well then, yeah, because I was going to point out that we were tied at 4, 4, 4, and 4 on crystals, which is pretty awesome.
That's very cool. We still will be for a while, because of course the dungeon that Humbug finished was not a crystal. So
yeah, but that does put Humbug on the path to a 5th crystal.
Yeah, he does have a direction now. I think he may have started to go to GT and then thought better of it.
I don't know. I think with the whole crystal cutscene, I would be surprised. Although Pod is just one item.
Well, I mean, Pod is 2, because there's Helma and the big key chest. But really what he just wanted to do was turn in the green pendant first, and it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty good. Now, granted, you have some lead time on that, because like your partner has to go get the green pendant anyway. I mean, I guess doesn't have to get the pendant, but like, what are you gonna do? I don't think grabbing the green pendant's wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would have done in that situation. It looks like Pod wasn't that hard to get to either, but 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, most likely.
Yeah, and we're Desert Big away, so go -1. Maybe just let it be there. We'll see if it's on Helma, but also, like, odds aren't great for it, so you're not losing that much value.
Yeah.
And you're getting it out of the way. I kind of don't like doing it ahead of making Relkin do it, because I always like making my teammate do the crappy slow thing so I can save seconds against them. But also, if it's just on Helma, then you never have to check it because Relkin's taking longer than that to get to Cold Stare, probably.
Yeah, I think
it is pretty
maybe
close
not.
because we're still a whole basement away. I don't know. We'll see what they do. It's certainly very close. So
Flipheel is following right behind, checking the green pendant, and then he'll probably go into the pod also.
Yeah, and has a comparable sort of lead over the Ice Palace play from Ike here. So both teams have clearly come to the same decision regarding that green pendant. So I'm just going to assume I'm wrong.
Yeah, they've been making a lot of the same decisions this entire seed. Honestly, there has not been. There was a little bit of early divergence, but once it converged on the Moon Pearl, there's been a lot of very similar stuff happening on the two sides of the screen.
Yeah, and there's commentary on whether Relkin can just skip the green pendant pickup. I'm just not convinced that there's a great way to do that and save time. Like, it just doesn't.
You could mirror out, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just, I don't know. It's marginal at best. We do know Ped is not the thing, so maybe, but.
And neither was Helma King because Humbug is going back in for the big the big chest.
Helmasaur was not the answer, so we're still looking for that Desert Big Key. At some point, volume is going to be this GT climb. I don't know if GT climb is ever density over anything else, but I do think you probably have to send someone here sometime soon.
Yeah, and Misery Mire is also still looming, but at this point, it looks like both teams are in anything but.
Yeah,
and
we don't have the Mire entrance, or do we?
I think I saw it, but it must have been in a bad location because I think I've only seen it once.
I'm struggling to believe that both teams are putting off Mire, but maybe? Like, 8 is a lot of items.
I mean, it's possible that I'm hallucinating, of course. I may not have actually seen it, but I thought I had.
I can imagine Misery Mire in my head, but that doesn't mean I've seen it recently, so I don't know.
Very fair point.
But we are going to Curiosity Shop on Humbug's side, so where are we going? Oh, we're going into TR to go through to TR West. Looks like it. What could this be that this is worth doing from Curiosity Shop? Oh, it's Bridge. Okay. Is Mire Shed new? Have we been on Bridge? I am, at this point, I'm just assuming that we've seen all of the accessible overworld entrances. But
now we have definitely seen Misery Mire because Relkin is going in.
Okay, well that's good. So we're in Mire, which means Humbug drew the short straw and has to climb, I think. Either that or we're going to try and split Mire, but I don't think that's good. Is this their first Blinds Hut? Is this real?
Wow. Yeah, we know it's empty, but they obviously did not. They hadn't gotten here. It is, of course, a terrible location. But
it is a bad location. I'm not like blaming them for not having been here in 82.5 minutes.
Yeah,
but
you have the last location, something.
Yeah.
I mean, some location has to be your potential last location.
I'm just surprised that we had entrance volume available at all at this point. Just based on the other checks that we have seen. Nice dash cancel and then walking down the stairs from Relkin, but like that dash cancel is pretty tight. I think it's a 3-frame window.
That is not a trick I have even attempted to learn yet. I'm still working on my repertoire, and it's definitely not in.
Yeah, It's actually got to be wider than 3 frames, probably like 5 or something. But like it's kind of tight.
And Humbug is also in Mire. He is not going to GP first.
Okay, we're not climbing. No fire rod, no climb. Humbug is on the Mire play. Which Mire, there's ways to split it. Oh, well, Relkin is left. Did we find?
Relkin got the 6 checks he could. He doesn't have the big key, so Humbug has to.
Oh, Humbug has to come for the big key checks.
Also, we did find the big key of Skull Woods in the spike chest. The last check in Mire, not the spike chest, the one south of it. So Relkin is off to check that, I believe.
This is Retrance at its finest.
Yeah. This is everything but GT mode, as I like to call it. Everything but the climb mode.
Yeah. Climb has been on the table for both teams for quite some while, but like also it sucks. Nice bomb jump. And Desert big key there.
That was it.
And we're watching Humbug
Humbug gets to skip cutscene in the middle of lighting the torches. He says, I am out of here. And he is going to go pick up that Skullwoods big, and then they will be in go mode.
Just go to Mire forehead. Yeah, so going back to Relkin and Humbug, scary at entrance. They're looking like they're in pretty good shape to get this one here.
Yeah, I assume Don't Forget to Track Us will be in Mire pretty soon, but they are not there yet, and so they are pretty far behind.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they're going to take that long to get there, but Pgog with early boots. Track Us got that glove earlier, and it looks like it is shaken out in Pgog's favor. Various efficiencies beyond my ability to track 4 players playing the same game at the same time, while also consuming delicious beverage, has, I can't give you the insights about how exactly this one got to where it is, but it does look
hopefully
like
they'll be able to provide insights when we bring them in for interviews.
Well, they won't have the context on the other team, but
well, that's why we get all 4 of them in.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see, but Humbug does get that biggie. This is why I was like, I'm just going to stream of conscious respond to whatever I'm seeing on one of the 4 screens, because I can't provide a better analysis than that. And we get a ped check from Flip Heel.
86-minute ped check. That's wonderful. And speaking of 86 minutes, we missed our run hour mark. But this is Invitational League Season 6 semifinal. Game 1 between Don't Forget to Track Us and To Infinity and Pgog. It has been a fantastic race. Thank you so much to our trackers, our Taro and Werfjig. Thank you to Drossi, our restreamer. Thank you to my co-com Maniacal. Thank you, chat, for attempting to help keep us on track, even though I don't have enough eyes to be actually looking at you most of the time. But I know you're trying, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sums it up. If you're not already following all 4 of these guys, what are you doing? I've met 3 of the 4 of them and can confirm that they're actual humans. Humbug, unconfirmed, but also Swedish, so justifiable. Didn't travel to SGL in Virginia, USA. Seems to be a human by all signs. And
he hasn't learned the Atlantic Ocean bomb jump yet. It's a bit tricky.
A number of people did. The number of people from Europe who made it to SGL, honestly, impressive.
It's cool. I'd like to go someday, but I haven't had the chance yet.
It's worth it, and I'm allowed to pump it up here on the SpeedGaming network because it's also associated. So yeah, SpeedGaming Live is great. it's worth the effort. And if people from Europe are coming, you potentially from the US at weird hours, or you from Europe at human hours, should also be making it. Structural Mike should be making it to SGL, confirming that Humbug is Swedish. Not confirming that Humbug's human. Just gonna put that out there.
I mean, it is especially hard to tell in these days of generative AI.
Yeah. ChatGPT, please write a message in the voice of a Swedish person. We're getting the GT climb out of Flip Heel while we're just
he'll be mirroring out
talking about whatever
very shortly.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Humbug briefly forgot which Desert Palace entrance was which, but has now found the back again.
That is far from the worst mistake to make, and a very reasonable mistake to make. Flip Heel dealing
I apologize for calling you out, Humbug. It is not my place, but it was funny.
It is only appropriate. I feel at least, I won't say entitled or justified in calling these runners out, but like all of these guys have beaten up on me even in recent history. And so they can just look at me and just be like, scoreboard, and I got nothing. I have no defense. Nice.
At this level, I think most runners have learned how to laugh at their own little mistakes for the most part. So hopefully they won't be too upset.
Yeah, but Flip Heel enjoying. Yo, nice spike traversal there. I didn't see if that was a dash, the nice pixel perfect, frame perfect dash there, or if it was like an iframes thing. But it was very nice. But yeah, Flip Heel getting to enjoy one of the last instances of rando slow ROM climb. I love it. Love this land mode too. It feels right, as opposed to ladder land mode 2, which feels like a travesty.
Very different things, yeah.
Yeah.
And I lied about Flip Heel mirroring out because I forgot that the item that iCure was going to find a few seconds after I was talking was not, in fact, their Go Mode item. It was the silly fetch quest that leads to their Go Mode item. So poor Flip Heel has gotten through most of the climb, and iCure is only now heading toward the Skullwoods Big Chest.
Yeah, we'll get there soon, but Flip Heel's gonna be probably in the checks part of Upper GT.
And meanwhile, Humbug is in the third phase of the Ganon fight, so he will almost certainly be our first finisher. And Relkin has claimed his 7th and final crystal and will be reaching the Ganon fight very shortly. It is not even a flute away.
And there's the bomb and the mirror. Yeah, Humbug. No fire rod, so we're getting some lamp silverless here. This is
no
great.
fire rod, no half magic, but he has 3 bottles, and I assume something useful is in one of them. And he has a butter sword, so it's I think 12 spins. Yeah,
lamp triples are really gross, so we'll see how Humbug is at his lamp triples. It looks like he's getting cooperative patterns so far, and these are not a ton of people have practiced their lamp triples for silverless, so the fact that Humbug is on it is pretty impressive, and Werfjig has the right of it that skipping Fire Rod was like a pretty insane brain play in this, and also it involved doing the bomb jump right side with lamp to get that mirror.
Absolutely, just that one, like the decision and then the execution, what required to follow up on that decision, were basically the margin in this race.
I wouldn't be that pessimistic about it, but I would say that it's a contributing factor to the margin we're witnessing for sure. I think that boiling it down to just that is a little reductionist, and so I want to stop short of doing that.
I didn't mean that it was exactly the market.
Yeah.
Right. Just that it's the bulk of it.
Yeah, it's
everything
a big
else was just
factor.
randoing.
Yeah, I want to give Relkin and Humbug their due on this. It's not like Humbug did right side GT without Fire Rod, therefore they won when they would have lost. Because it's way more.
Yeah, no, it is definitely way more nuanced than that, and I didn't mean to oversimplify it. So thank you for fixing my unclear statement.
All good. I mean, you are welcome to stand on that statement. I think it's not indefensible. I just don't think it's accurate.
Yeah, no, I did not mean it in the strong way it clearly came in. I meant much more like what you were saying. So I appreciate you clarifying.
It's all good. We are joined by Humbug. GG Humbug. Nice race time.
Thank you.
How you feeling about that one?
Relkin will be here. He had to go pee.
Yeah, Relkin's in me time zone, so I'm surprised he didn't need to go sleepy.
Well, it's almost like we set that up.
We didn't practice this ahead of time.
No, we did not practice that whatsoever. No.
If this is the quality content you came for, by the way, this has been the entire cons.
Beautiful. Even more reason to watch this back then.
We've had fun. I hope you had fun.
I did have fun. The seed was breakable, and we somehow managed to break it.
You broke it in the right way.
Nice yes.
How do you dodge GT climb? Tell me about it.
By living by the standards of I don't want to do GT climb, like being a child about it and just
do you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you do it.
Right.
Nice palace.
That would be another way, I guess. But yeah,
Relkin sounds nothing like either of those people in that conversation, so I'm assuming they're both you, Humbug.
He does, yeah. No, but okay, so we dodged GT climb for basically one reason, and that is we still hadn't found blind spacement. And that's 5 check that is really fast whenever you find it. So we did that, and then we had 8 checks in Mire, and Relkin didn't have the big key from left side swamp, so it sort of made sense in a way for him to go in there first, since like he wouldn't have been able to get baited into the boss if there was other junk in there, which there was. And
so Mire big key was left side swamp. Is that where that was? Okay.
Mire big key was left side swamp.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I've seen you on comms for co-op retrants before, Humbug, but I'm real bad at watching 4 screens of anything.
Oh yeah.
I'm especially bad at watching 4 screens of co-op. And co-op entrance mode 4 screens, I'm dead in the water. So I was just like stream of conscious responding to whatever the hell was going on the screen for the past hour and a half. Yeah. So apologies in that regard.
No worries.
But GG to Relkin.
Yo, GG's. Sorry, I hopped in a little bit late, but I'm here now.
Hey, all good, dude.
No worries. We are also joined by Ikir and Fliphill. GG's to everyone.
GG's.
GG's. How about
GG's, guys.
Good game.
Yeah, GG's gamers.
Yeah, this was a great race to watch. You know, everybody was pretty close the entire time. There were some interesting decisions made, but no wrong decisions, no massive execution errors. It was a nice race to watch.
Well, I don't know about you, but clearly the right decision was to not do Aga, so Humbug wins this race.
Yeah. Wish I had done Aga instead of Flipio, because Flipio can do that, breaking the right side of GT. I have never been successful at it.
So,
and it's like there's no way for you to like gain that either, right? Because you don't know that you'll find Fire Rod behind it. Like how are you supposed to know who's gonna climb Aga or not?
We were betting Moon Pearl was there.
Whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Moon Pearl, like get the early Moon Pearl and then just go and Fire Rod there.
Real quick point of calibration before I let y'all go is I think you guys, the teams were about 7 seconds apart to that Moon Pearl, to give you an idea of how the early game played out. It was pretty sick.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Cool. Yeah, that was really interesting for us too, because Iker was like, "How do you feel about Aga?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, it's in logic. It's probably pointing to that, sure." And then originally Iker was going to do it, but then he didn't get the Samaria, I guess, because he was going to do the Ice Rod Cave first, and
I
then
took
come
the
back.
Ice Rod Cave area, found Gan's Tower. I'm like, oh, there's stuff here. And then
then basically since he found flippers, I was like, oh, hey, I guess let's switch since I was on the way there anyway. And then, yeah, it just got crazy from there.
Yeah, we everything was found bang, bang, bang. Like the entire game opened up pretty much.
Yeah,
With an
there
instant.
was a lot of stuff early. Except the Moon Pearl, because all of the early stuff led to the Moon Pearl, and then it was like there was a lot of divergence early, and then it all converged on the Moon Pearl, and then it was mostly a straight shot after that.
Yeah.
They weren't even really in logic until we found that flute on Zora Ledge. We were like, how do we get to the mountain? Because everything is here leading to that Moon Pearl. And then, oh, there it is. Because I didn't check that. I was just short of money to check Zora, so I didn't go in there.
Actually, you didn't need the flute, I don't think. I think you could just take the paradox entrance to the mountain.
Oh, yeah, you could.
You get the flippers from the library. Because that's how we got it. That's how we got in logic anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is with the Castle Tower Climber, like Relkin did it out of logic. Technically, you had the lamp, but you still did it out of logic because we didn't know the way up the mountain. But it's like, is it really gonna be a Moon Pearl in the way for a way up the mountain?
Right.
Heck no. Moon Pearl is definitely in the well, right? So
it's gonna be there.
Right. Exactly. So you just climb. Of course you do. But then we didn't find the Moon Pearl there, and it was like, okay. Can I dodge the fire rod? Because of course TR is a pendant. And then okay, what's the right side? What's on right side to the rock? A bow. Oh no! I still don't know if I can dodge the fire rod. What the heck?
Well,
and then there's another bow, and yeah.
You have to get the other bow. Okay. Okay.
It's like
we found that really late.
It's like you couldn't dodge TR, but you could dodge the fire rod.
Did you guys like immediately? Well, not immediately, but like. When did you do book checks? I guess once you got them.
Late.
Not too soon after getting the book. I mean, like I went.
Actually, you did get the book before you got your Moon Pearl, but actually getting the bow required you to go to South Dark Pearl, and that we did late. We did that very late. So the bow was found really late.
Yeah, I can chat our. I'm sorry, go ahead. What?
Oh no, I was just saying. I think it's hard because it's like. You get the mitts in GT, and then like, it's so easy to isolate that area because like you get the mitts. If you do Meyer or the mountain, because like Meyer was actually how I got to the area by the smith, and then it's like, oh, I have the flute, so I'll just do these mirror checks, and then it's so hard to. Well, I guess you don't have the book at that point, but
I probably made some poor decisions not going to Ice Palace when I first found it, because at that point we were really looking for dam, and I was hoping everything was just going to be in swamp, and nothing was in swamp. So Flippy had to go back to that later, and then we just kept dodging that the bomb spot underneath the bomb shop. I think I asked a few times, like, have we done this yet? Have we done this yet? And just we never got to it until it was our second to last entrance by Meyer.
Yeah, I was like gonna do book checks, but then I was like, there was always a little bit more to do first. Like I was like, let me do the Turtle Rock stuff, and then I think I just got baited into ice because I was like, I don't necessarily want to do it just yet, and then ice is probably more dense, and then I think once the pod big led to nothing, I was like, all right, now I'll finally clean it up.
Yeah, ice and Meyer both being required for big keys. Oh well, it was a good game.
Yep, and I'm gonna go ahead and hop off because we'll
try to continue our streak of picking Retrants, losing, and then somehow beating or winning the next two games.
Hey, when you have a plan, you got to stick with it.
It's Relkin Bedge. Is that-
It's definitely Relkin Bidge. It is almost 3 o'clock for me, so I'm hopping off.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I
thanks
guess
for
I
the
have a question
restreaming
for
commentary.
Relkin. Did Relkin
Hear that,
take a
dude?
nap before this one, or did you stay up all night like we did?
I have been up since 9 in the morning, so yeah, I stayed up the entire way.
Same here.
Well, this was
GG
even
Gamer?
more impressive being done on no sleep. So thank you all very much.
So, real quick, before you go, Relkin, do we know what Game 2 looks like?
Yeah, it'll be a
I mean,
pilot.
it's Will.
It'll be a pilot spoiler. Will piloting me.
Okay,
And
nice.
that's coming up on Tuesday.
Maybe. It looks like that's the good candidate.
I think
Some-
they, yeah,
not
they
as
figured out
late
the
as
day and
this
time.
game, but it'll be a late night game.
All
I'll
I'm hearing is that
probably
this is
not
my
count
fault.
that
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
Blame
you
Sorry
Humbug.
for living on this side of the Atlantic.
I
Okay.
just want to point out now we're 6 of 7 for the team picking losing their match.
Right.
We hope that continues.
I'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks so much for the restream and,
Yeah,
and,
GG,
and the
dude.
games.
Yep, GG's.
GG's.
Yeah, so now that Relkin's gone, we can talk crap about him. No, but yeah, this was a sick race. Honestly, there was a lot of back and forth elements, and a lot of me being confused because it's entrance, and so I had no idea what was going on half the time.
Oh my god, I made some goofs too. Like the worst I think for me was like I save and quit after doing AGA to Link's house, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, the old man is right there. I can just walk out and then walk up. That'll be faster. And then I walk out and go straight to the dark world. I was just like, oh man. I was just like, it's too late for this.
I mean, I didn't even catch that. If it wasn't like on screen single screen execution flubs, I wasn't calling anything out because there was nothing that I had synthesized about the map. I wasn't tracking the map at all. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I had an
likewise.
idea.
I
Like,
had no
I knew where
idea what
GT
anything
was. GT was over in Ice Rod Cave area under the lift rock because don't forget to track us. Y'all had the glove a good bit earlier. You were a little later to the boots, and so like I had some idea about some stuff, but
I guess I'm doing back eye roll. That's just no question because
Yeah.
I've almost always like the last 3 retrospectives I've run. There's been a glove back there.
yeah, I mean, it worked out, especially with Sank at Pyramid. I mean, just jam back of Castle, and it works out. This was a cool one. Hookshot and Hammer showing up as they did versus Fire Rod and Samaria. It kind of created a nice tension with what was going on in GT. It was a cool seed. It got a little gross at the end, but I mean, standard reference.
Like the boomerangs.
I
was funny.
I didn't even catch the boomerangs. What was going on with those boomerangs?
They were on both sides. They were flanking the glove in the back of.
Oh,
it was blue boomerang, glove, red
I
boomerang.
didn't catch that either.
Yeah.
oh, that's excellent. I was way more focused on the fact that it was Glove, and you were there notably earlier than it looked like Humbug or Relkin were going to get there.
I did tell Flip his favorite boomerang where it was, and not the other one.
Nice.
Yeah, I see he still picked up both of them. You all did, in fact.
Yeah, I think he told me right as I was grabbing it, but it's
Okay.
Red one's sometimes useful.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary. Thanks for the tracking. Thanks for the restream.
I was gonna say-
Especially this late at night.
Yep, it is
Yeah, you guys are the real MVPs.
almost 4 a.m. Eastern. Anything else you guys wanted to share about this? We got the game 2 out of the way. So we know series is 1-0. We're going to game 2. We got some pilot spoiler on the docket for Tuesday at some TBD late time that might be late enough for me to comment, but actually no, I'm probably in an airplane at that time. Never mind. But good luck.
Thanks. It's like an 11:30 p.m. start time.
Yeah, I'll probably land just in time to like watch it on my commute from an airport. But yeah, Humbug, keep forcing these late night races. I love it. I love having races in a time zone and like or a time that I'm willing to calm them. It's excellent.
Sweet. I'll try to. I somewhat enjoy getting up sort of early in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't mind playing. I don't mind doing it for the sole purpose of playing a game.
Yeah. I think the only times that I've raced you were like,
Yeah.
at this time o'clock ladder
Probably.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Probably something like that.
Or mid Saturday afternoon league race or something.
Yeah.
Man, this was an excellent one. Thank you guys for coming in and chatting and for putting it on. It was an awesome race. Thank you to Blumsha for co-comming. Really excellent time for. Was this your first comms, Blumsha?
My third, technically.
Third,
yes.
okay. I knew it was newer comms, but it was an excellent time. You want to take us out?
Sure.
All right.
Except I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but this has
Well,
been...
we can highlight that there's a race on Sunday for Invitational League between Potato Pouch and Last Locationeers, Game 1. It's Randomizer, Tam and Brogor versus Structural Mike and Zen Arcane. That should be sick. That is Last Locationeers pick. And as it relates to the ALTTPR League, the non-invitational, I'm going to pull that up real quick. I think the next one's Monday. So nothing tomorrow, but real soon. Then we have Psyduck Psychos versus Clown College on Monday, and there's a Tuesday game between them as well, both at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Not going to go through the details, but we got some league action as we narrow things down. We've got those teams vying for promotion into the Invitational for next season, and as we went over, these teams have all earned promotion to Super Invitational for next season, which is not a real thing. It's just a construct in my head.
But they definitely earned it.
But they definitely have earned it as being top 4 in Invitational League, which is awesome. And so check out their game too. And otherwise, I think that's about it. So you can just say goodbye however you prefer to, Blumsha.
Sounds great. Goodbye, everyone. Good night, and we'll see you again soon.
Nailed it.